Okay, guys, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. Today we have another class. We'll be looking at local storage working with Firebase. We currently have your instructor on the call, Eugene. Eugene is a front end engineer and he's from Kenya. So, Eugene, thank you for coming on the call today. Class is all yours.
Thank you. Um, yeah, my name is Eugene. I've been a front end engineer for the last 3 years. And I'm going to take you guys through uh, working with local storage and Firebase. I hope you can all see the presentation.
Yes, we can see it.
So I'll take that as a yes.
Yes, we can see it. If you can hear
Yeah,
me, we can see it.
okay, let's get right into it. I'll start with just explaining through Firebase. So we'll go through Firebase. I'll just explain what it is, and after that, I'll also go through local storage. And If we have a bit of extra time, I'll demo a video of an application using both Firebase and local storage. Yeah. So Firebase is a back-end as a service platform that provides developers with a set of tools and services to help them build web and mobile applications quickly and efficiently. It's a comprehensive platform that offers a number of services. This includes authentication, real-time database, uh, Cloud Firestore, both of which are no SQL databases, cloud storage, cloud storage, cloud functions, and hosting. So just breaking down authentication. Firebase, Firebase gives um, its users the power to be able to authenticate users using various social login methods. Yeah, so this could be from various identity providers, including Google, Facebook, Twitter, and GitHub. Um, a real-time database and Cloud Firestore, as I had mentioned earlier, NoSQL or no SQL databases, depending on how you pronounce it, that allow developers to store and sync data in real time. Uh, Cloud functions allow developers to write serverless functions that can be triggered by various events, such as database changes or HTTP requests. Cloud storage allows developers to store and retrieve files in the cloud. Um, and Lastly, the Firebase hosting service allows developers to host their web applications on Firebase servers. So you can tell from that uh, it has a pretty comprehensive set of tools that just make your work a lot easier when you're developing an application. Stuff like authentication. You don't have to um, build an entire authentication service or whatever on your side. because these are all things that are supported by Firebase, like out of the box. Um, yeah, so it's a pretty neat tool um, to use. So today I want us to focus on two particular things within Firebase. Uh, One is the authentication bit, and two is Firestore. Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, Firestore is cloud-based, no SQL document database. It's designed to store, synchronize, and query data for web and mobile applications at scale. It's a serverless database, which means you don't have to manage any servers or infrastructure to use it. It also uses a document-based data model where data is stored as JSON-like documents that contain nested sub-collections and fields. Now, I know that might seem like a lot, but I think it will be easier. After I'm done explaining this, I'll open my Firebase console and just demonstrate like how this basically looks from there. Um, yeah, it also provides a powerful set of querying and indexing capabilities that allow us to retrieve data quickly and efficiently, even for large data sets. Uh, yeah. So again, just reiterating how easy it makes it to build complex applications with very minimal setup and configuration. Um, yeah. So um, when we're setting up Firebase, what you want to do is one of the first things you have to do is you have to initialize. You have to initialize Firebase. Sorry. The best place to do this would be essentially the entry point of your application. Now, I know you guys work a lot with Vue, if I'm not wrong. Uh, so in a Vue application, in that context, this would probably be somewhere like in the main.js file, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So we can see a small snippet of how you basically set it up. This is after obviously installing the Firebase package using npm. Yeah. Um, yeah, this is basically how it looks. They have uh, very detailed documentation showing just to be able to guide you through like setting up all of this. So don't worry about trying to cram any snippets of code that I'll be showing you. Yeah, this is essentially how you add data to Firestore. So you can see the snippet over here. There's an add doc function, and then we pass in our data over here, and yeah, we definitely have to specify the collection. The collection would essentially in a SQL database, I would say would be a table. So just think of it as a table. Yeah, for the purpose of just understanding this better. And then here's another snippet of code. We can see how it sort of looks like when we're retrieving data from the Firestore. Again, do not cram, you don't need to cram any of this. The documentation is quite detailed. So I'm going to quickly move into local storage. Yeah, so Local storage. Um, oh, I'm guessing we'll do the questions after I finish the presentation if you have any. Um, but yeah, local storage is a web storage API that allows developers to store data locally in the user's browser. It allows for persistent data storage, meaning that the data will remain even after the user closes the browser. So why should you use local storage? Local storage is faster than yeah, definitely fetching data from a server. Um, it also allows for offline functionality, meaning users of your application can still access that data even when they're offline. Um, the third point is that it reduces the amount of data that needs to be sent over the network, which saves bandwidth and yeah, improves your application performance overall. Yeah, so just a few things to note about local storage. It's definitely limited to um, the amount of storage available on a user's computer. Um, no, um, there's a particular limit. I think I'll cover it later. Um, the second point is it can be less secure than server-side storage because the data is stored on the user's computer, and definitely that could be vulnerable to particular attacks. So yeah, sometimes it can also be unreliable. Um, in a scenario where the user clears the data, yeah, some stuff might be lost. um yeah so best practices when using local storage. um so what is typically stored in local storage is small amounts of data that are needed frequently, such as user preferences or session data. Sorry. Um, uh, yeah. Again, just to reiterate, you probably shouldn't be storing any sensitive data. Yeah, that should probably lie on the server instead of using local storage. And then, yeah, just to note, this is what I was talking about earlier. So, local storage has a limit of around 5 to 10 MB depending on the browser. So, yeah, it's important to store minimal amounts of data in your local storage. Yeah. Then again, just reiterating, it's not the best place to store sensitive data. So just avoid that. So, um, yeah, usually, I don't know if you've interacted with local data, local storage, sorry. Usually you can find it if you inspect element on a page and you go to is it storage? Just give me a second. Let me just confirm that. Yeah. You go to the application tab, you inspect the element, you go to the application tab, and yeah, you'll just be able to see the different data stored by yeah the different websites that you've visited. Yeah, so typically what you'll find most of the time is stuff to do with maybe language or color scheme, um, sometimes session data. So maybe uh, I use as a shopping cart on an e-commerce website. So how do we use this local storage? Um, so you can do this by using build the built-in functions provided by the browser's web API. Um, so when we're adding, the syntax will be local storage dot set item, and then you pass in the key name as the first parameter, and then the value. So the value is the data you'd want to store as the second parameter. Yeah, this can be a string, number, boolean, or an object. So to fetch items from local storage, again, there's another inbuilt function. The inbuilt function is get item. So for that, you just do local storage dot get item, and then you pass in the key name. The key name that you set when you're storing the data. You can also delete stuff from local storage, and for that we use another inbuilt function. It's remove item, and then you pass in the key name. Yeah. So now, huh. There's a small chat app that I had created. I don't know if I'll be able to share my screen. Just give me a second. Mhm.
Did you can see your screen?
Yeah.
No, I said we can see your screen.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Just give me a Yeah, so I managed to build a small application. I'll just quickly take you through. Um, don't worry, I'll share a link to the particular repo so you can have a stab at editing it to suit your needs. So the application uses uh, from the application, you can see I'm using Firebase authentication. So I have a button here um, that enables the user to log in via Google, which happens through Firebase. I'll just quickly just demo the application and then just uh, pull up my local storage so you can have a look at some of the data that I'm storing. So a few things to note about the application. Oh, there we go. So since it's using Google, we can see I'm able to pull my info. You can see my name on the right and my Google photo. Um, and if we just look at the function over here, you can see that after I sign in using the pop-up, I'm actually storing this data in my local storage under user
Hello,
details.
Eugene.
So the particular things I'm pulling
Eugene, can you
out
hear me? Hello, Eugene. Can you
from
hear me?
the sign in with pop-up method is the display name, the photo URL,
Hello,
and the
Eugene.
UID of the
Eugene,
user.
can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh, okay. So we can't
yeah, I
see
can hear
your
you.
code editor.
Oh, my bad, my bad. I thought I was sharing my screen.
We're only seeing
Give
the
me a second.
presentation.
I'm busy. Okay.
Yeah,
My bad. I'm so sorry about that. There you
it's
go. Can
fine.
you see it now,
Yeah, we
please?
can see it. You
Yeah.
probably
So,
just
like I
have
was,
to zoom in a little. You just
sorry.
have to zoom. I say you'd have to zoom into your code editor a little so that we can see it small.
Okay. 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 Is that better?
Just zoom in a bit. Yeah, this is better.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. So, just quickly going back to what I was saying. I created a small application that uses Google authentication via Firebase. Um, so what happens when I log in is I'm taking some info that's returned from the sign in, and I'm storing that in my local storage. So I just want us to see how that looks like. Mm, a second. Yeah, so this is how it looks. As you can see, after signing in with Google, um, it it's pulled my info. You didn't get to see the pop-up um, because I'm already signed into my Google account on my browser. But yeah, essentially, I'm sure all of us are familiar with the Google pop-up for signing in. So if I didn't have an active session, then that would see that pop up. Yeah, so I just want to us to see some of the info that I've stored. Yeah, so you can see that I'm pulling these four things and setting and storing them in my local storage under a key called user details. Um, yeah, this is for again, this is how you access your your local storage. It's as simple as inspecting and going under application, and then just choosing the particular website. So we can see all of this stuff that's pulled from Google that I'm storing in my local storage. Um, yeah, so I have, I think I'll share a link to um, this particular repo. So you guys can go and have a stab at just playing around with it. I want you to kind of demonstrate how it looks from the Firebase console. Oh, and don't worry about being charged for Firebase. There's a free plan. Yeah, as you can see, it's the same thing I'm using. Yeah, so don't worry about that. Going back to the Fire Store, this is how your particular DB will look. So we can see a collection over here and just data. This is just random data I was testing with. I did a bunch of tests. Yeah, so this is how it looks essentially from here. And then if we go over here under project shortcuts, there's also an authentication tab, and you can see all of the Google users have authenticated. Yeah. I guess that's it for now. Um, Sorry, I've blazed through it, but yeah, I can feel my voice going. So I don't know if there are any questions.
Yes, so I'll put in the questions on the screen. So we have one right there.
Okay. So the mystical code is asking, when using set item, does the value have to be quoted to the quotes? Not really. No, it doesn't need to be, because I mean, you can pass in an object if you wanted. I don't know if you can still see my screen. Just give me a second. I'll just do something quickly here. Okay, so where the cold storage.
Eugene, are you showing us your code editor?
No, I've pulled up my console. Are you guys able to see it?
No, I can't see it.
No?
Um,
Uh,
okay, yeah, I can.
yeah. Okay.
I think I think you
Yeah,
not have to
so
just go to the code editor so you don't. Okay, yeah, I can see it now.
yeah. So I just want to add something quickly. Sorry. Um, we'll call the key example sample objects. And we'll just pass in an object. So we'll have a key called test and a value of 1, I guess. So you can see that kind of went through. If we come here, yeah. So here we go. You might actually have to stringify it. So let's just okay. Sorry, might actually have to stringify it. Okay, let's just check again. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, for objects, yeah, you're gonna have to stringify those. Yeah, I hope that's kind of answered your question. Yeah. Are there any other questions? Sorry? Can you manually add a user? I can see an add user button on the Firebase console. Excellent question. Yes, you can. You can manually add in a user, but this is restricted to email and password users. So let's try test that. Gmail.com, ABC, I guess. Then we click add, and yeah, you can see the account has been added. Yeah, but the provider is an email password. So you can tell it's an email password user. Good question. Anyone else? Any other questions? Start again. Not from what point exactly. Um,
And I would not even know what point you're starting again from. So promise, Chima, we
yeah,
don't know what you want us to start again from.
yeah.
So guys, if you have questions, please go ahead and drop your questions. If we don't get any question in next 2 minutes, we might as well call it a night. Because so do we have any other question? Promise, Chima, you can let us know what you want to be explained. Okay. Okay. Going through the chat. So while we're on that, I'm dropping
Mhm.
Eugene's handle, so you can go ahead to follow Eugene. So once again, I
Oh
want to
yeah.
say, I think Eugene, why are you more active?
Sorry. Oh, you can find me on LinkedIn. Eugene Korea.
Oh, okay.
Is my
I'll drop
handle.
your LinkedIn handle here. So
Yeah,
guys,
you
go
can
ahead
also
and follow
follow me
Eugene.
on GitHub under Kengene. That's KENGEENE. Um, yeah.
Okay, so
Um,
I have just one more question for you, then we can call it a night.
mhm. Can Firebase be used for framework alone? I don't seem to understand the question. Could you do you mind expounding? Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah, no, no, I understand the question. I understand the question. Yeah, definitely you can use it uh using a traditional HTML uh and vanilla JavaScript, I guess. The steps would kind of be a bit different, but yeah, that's definitely possible. Yep, I guess that's it. Oh, here's another fantastic question. Is it only Vue we can use the local storage function? No. Local storage function, local storage is um, it's like it's inbuilt into uh, the browser for JS. So no, it's not only limited to Vue. You can use the same exact thing in an Angular app using vanilla JS. Yeah. Um, uh, an important thing to note would be uh, definitely because its scope is like its scope to a browser, you would have yeah, you wouldn't be able to use it in a Node application. So it's an important thing to note. Yeah, I've fallen for that one a couple of times as well. Like it's something I constantly forget. So it's a good thing to note. Yeah. Um, I don't know if there are any other questions. Again, I mean, you can follow me on LinkedIn and reach out to me if you haven't understood anything. If you want me to expound on anything. So the mystical coder, I tried implementing Firebase once. Do I write the functions to store in database and retrieve information to display on the application myself, or Firebase provides that? Yeah, you definitely have to write the particular functions to manipulate data and for data retrieval as well on your end. But yeah, there's very comprehensive documentation on how to implement all of those. Another question. Local storage cannot be used on a node application. No. Yeah, it's limited to um, web. It's limited to web, if I can put it like that.
So okay then. I think all questions have been taken. We don't have any more questions. So once
Yeah,
again, thank you, Eugene, for tonight's class. We'll go by it, and at least we'll
yeah.
sure learn some new things today. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. Again, you can follow me on my socials and just reach out to me if you need any clarity on anything. I'll find a way to get the particular repo for the chat app to you. Um, yeah, and thank you guys so much for your time.
All right, thank you too. So, guys, we'll have the report out and it will be dropped on the Discord channel and possibly the material as well. So, if you have more questions, you can drop them on Discord. So, thank you once again, Eugene. Have a
Thanks.
lovely night rest.
You too,
All
and
right.
enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, we will. So,
Bye
guys,
bye.
that'll be all for today. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and follow us on YouTube. And sorry, rather, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Twitch. With that said, goodbye, everyone. See you tomorrow's Q&A session by 9 p.m. on Discord. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye, Eugene. Bye, Ella.